All right. So today we're going to do a deep dive into this book that really caught my attention.
Okay.
It's called Become the Goat, One Life, Mahatma Gandhi Mode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
That's an interesting title.
by Shah M. Jamal. And I don't know about you, but when I saw that title, I was like, I got to know more about this. And basically, the premise of it is that we can all tap into
Yeah.
some of Gandhi's wisdom to achieve success.
Hmm. That's, yeah.
So I'm really curious to see what we discover in this book.
Yeah, it is an interesting approach. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily think of Gandhi as like a productivity guru,
Right.
right?
Yeah, totally.
And when you think about him, he was just like laser focused and unwavering commitment to his cause,
Absolutely.
which ultimately led to incredible change.
Yeah, and that's what I found so interesting too. Like it's not just about the peaceful resistance that
Yeah.
he's known for, it's that inner strength and how we can kind of apply that to
Yeah.
our own lives. And the book really drives home the point that like we only get one shot at this thing called life
Mm-hmm.
with its one and done philosophy.
Mm.
And there's even this quote that like really jumps out at you. It says,
Right.
you have exactly one shot, one life to make everything you ever dreamed of
Wow.
happen. So ask yourself, are you really going to waste it?
Ooh, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That really makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
The book seems to be drawing this parallel between Gandhi, who like accomplished so much in one lifetime,
Yeah.
and the potential that like we all have.
Right.
It begs the question, what could we achieve if we approached our goals
Yeah.
with that same level of dedication and urgency?
Right. And I mean, Gandhi was up against incredible odds, yet he never wavered from his purpose. And I
Mhm.
think the book is using that to inspire us, even if our goals are maybe on a smaller scale.
Right.
Like, imagine applying even a fraction of that focus to like starting that business you've always dreamed of, or
Yeah.
like finally writing that novel.
And what's fascinating to me here is how the book takes that inspiration
Hmm.
and tries to make it actionable
Okay.
with this concept of Mahatma mode.
Now, this Mahatma mode, it's more than just a catchy phrase, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like how would
It's
you
like
Yeah.
the book describes it as the state of mind,
Okay.
that relentless focus and drive,
Mm-hmm.
but it also emphasizes the action part.
Right.
Like it's not just about thinking, it's about doing.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it gets really interesting because it tries to bridge the gap between like admiring Gandhi
Yeah.
and actually applying his approach
Totally.
to our lives,
Okay.
to our modern lives.
So to illustrate this, the book tells the story of Raj, who is like this average guy who seems to be stuck in a rut.
Yes, Raj is very relatable, I think, for a lot of people.
Right.
He's basically sleepwalking through life,
Yeah.
and then he stumbles upon this one and done philosophy, and it like sparks this major transformation.
It's almost like he wakes up and realizes, wait, I've been putting things off for someday, but someday might never come.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, the book uses Raj's story
Yeah.
to show that this like shift in thinking
Mm-hmm.
can have a real impact.
Right.
Like he starts taking risks, setting these ambitious goals,
Uh-huh.
and actually achieving them.
Wow.
Like he starts his own business, for instance,
Yeah.
something he always wanted to do, but never had the courage to actually pursue.
Yeah. This makes me think about procrastination, which is something that like I think a lot of us struggle with.
Oh, for sure.
We put things off thinking we have unlimited time,
Right.
but this book is arguing that like time is our most precious resource and we need to treat it accordingly.
Absolutely. And the book takes this idea even further by giving us these practical strategies
Right.
to actually implement this one and done mindset,
Yeah.
to like really embrace that sense of urgency.
Okay, so let's dig into these strategies.
And if-
What are some of the ways the book suggests we can like shift our thinking and really start taking action?
Okay, yeah. Well, one that really caught my attention is the Gandhi-inspired time bomb.
Okay, a time bomb sounds a bit intense, but I'm intrigued. How does that work?
Yeah, it's actually pretty simple. You basically set an hourly alarm on your phone,
Okay.
but you label it time is running out.
An hourly alarm? Wow, that's certainly one way to stay focused on the limited time we have.
Right.
So what's the thinking behind that?
It's all about kind of like jolting you into action.
All right.
Every time that alarm goes off, it's like a reminder
Yeah.
to take immediate action toward your most important goal.
Okay.
And that could be something small.
Yeah.
It could be like making a decision, sending an email,
Right.
or tackling a task you've been putting off. But the key is to do something to keep moving forward.
That's interesting because it ties into what we know about the psychology of productivity. Like things like the Pomodoro technique, where you work in these like focused bursts, are built on this idea of creating a sense of urgency.
Exactly.
And there's also the Zeigarnik effect, where our brains tend to like remember unfinished tasks more vividly. So this time bomb strategy could really tap into that, keeping our goals at the forefront of our minds.
Right. It's about breaking down those big, overwhelming goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Yeah.
And by consistently taking action, even in small ways, you build momentum.
Right.
And you start to see real progress.
Now, I wonder if some people might find the constant alarms disruptive or even like anxiety-inducing.
Yeah.
Does the book address that potential downside at all?
Yeah, it does acknowledge that it might not be for everyone.
Okay.
The key is to find what works for you.
Right.
And it also emphasizes that the actions you take don't have to be huge.
Okay.
Even small steps forward contribute to the bigger picture.
This reminds me of Gandhi's Salt March.
Right.
Seemingly small act of defiance that ultimately had huge repercussions. Speaking of Gandhi's actions, the book also talks about the Gandhi's Footsteps Challenge.
Yes.
Which sounds intriguing, albeit a bit daunting.
It is a bit more involved than the time bomb,
Okay.
but it taps into a different aspect of achieving goals.
So I'm picturing myself walking 10 miles in sandals deep in thought. Is that the general idea?
You're not far off. The idea is to embark on a 10-mile walk,
Okay.
symbolizing Gandhi's historic march to protest the salt tax. And the book encourages you to use that time to reflect on your purpose
Okay.
and the actions you need to take to achieve your goals.
So it's like a walking meditation with a purpose. It's
Yeah.
like you're physically embodying the journey toward achieving your goals.
Exactly. And here's the key.
Yeah.
After the walk, you commit to taking one bold action toward your most important goal.
That's a really interesting way to link physical action with mental focus.
Right.
It's almost like you're building up this momentum during the walk
Yeah.
and then channeling it into something concrete. It's not just thinking about it, it's actually doing it.
The book also suggests dedicating an entire day to focused action, a concept it calls Mahatma Mode Day.
So like a 24-hour deep dive into your goals.
Exactly. It's about committing to a day where every action is aligned with your ultimate purpose.
Okay.
It's about eliminating distractions and really focusing on what matters most.
Now, I know some people might balk at the idea of devoting an entire day to just one thing,
Right.
but I can also see how it could be incredibly liberating to step away from the usual distractions and like really immerse yourself in something you're passionate about. Does the book provide any guidance on how to actually structure a Mahatma Mode day?
It does. It suggests starting the day with a period of quiet reflection,
Okay.
perhaps like meditation or journaling, to really get clear on your intentions.
Yeah.
Then it recommends dividing the day into like hour-long blocks,
Okay.
each dedicated to a specific task related to your goal.
So it's like a mini retreat designed to like propel you toward your goals.
Exactly.
I love that idea. It's like giving yourself permission to just focus on what truly matters.
And remember, these are just a few of the strategies the book offers. The key is to find what resonates with you and adapt it to your own needs and goals.
It sounds like the book provides like a toolkit of approaches.
Yeah.
So you can choose the ones that like best fit your personality and your specific goals.
Exactly.
I'm really interested to hear about some more of these strategies. What else stood out to you? So we talked about the time bomb, the 10-mile walk, and even dedicating a whole day to like focused action.
Yeah.
What other tools does the book offer for embracing this one and done philosophy?
Well, one thing it really stresses is the importance of actually like committing to action.
Okay.
It encourages you to create what it calls a do or die list,
Okay.
which is essentially a list of goals you absolutely must achieve.
I like that. It's like, no more. I should really do that someday. It's about drawing a line in the sand and saying, these are the things I'm committed to making happen. Does the book give any advice on like how to create this list?
It suggests starting with your biggest dreams, the things that would truly make a difference in your life.
Yeah.
And then it encourages you to break those dreams down into smaller, more achievable steps.
Right.
So it's about creating a roadmap for action, not just a wish list.
That makes sense because sometimes those big dreams can feel really overwhelming.
Right.
So like breaking them down into smaller steps makes them feel less daunting.
Totally.
It's like that old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time, exactly.
And once you have your list, the book suggests a really fun and creative way to ensure you're consistently taking action. It calls it the Bold Action Lottery.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, a lottery for getting things done. Tell me more.
So imagine writing down like 50 bold actions on slips of paper
Ah, okay.
and putting them in a jar.
Okay, so I'm picturing a jar full of little challenges like give a presentation to a room full of strangers or finally write that novel you've been dreaming of.
Yes, exactly.
Or maybe even like book that trip you've always wanted to take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So each morning you draw a slip of paper and commit to completing that action before the day ends.
I love that it's playful. It introduces an element of surprise.
Yeah.
And it keeps you from falling into a rut.
Right.
It's like a game, but with real world rewards.
And I think that's one of the things that this book does so well.
Yeah.
It makes pursuing your goals feel exciting and engaging,
Right.
not just another item on your to-do list.
This whole conversation has really gotten me thinking about how I approach my own goals.
Yeah.
It's easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day,
Yeah.
and lose sight of those bigger aspirations.
Sure.
And that's where I think the book's core message really resonates. We have a limited amount of time,
Yeah.
and it's up to us to make the most of it.
Absolutely.
It's about embracing that sense of urgency and acting decisively.
That's it.
It's like Gandhi himself is saying, don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now, even if it's just a small step.
Love it.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder.
Right.
If you knew you only had 1 year left to achieve your biggest dream, what bold actions would you take differently starting today?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Would you finally quit that soul-crushing job book, that trip around the world, start writing that book that's been brewing in your mind?
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe by embracing this one-and-done mindset, you'll discover that you don't need a year.
Right.
You can start making those dreams a reality right now.
You can start today.
It all comes down to choice. Are you going to let those dreams remain just dreams, or are you going to take action and make them happen?
It's up to you.
That's all for today's deep dive. We hope you gained some valuable insights and feel inspired to take action.
Thanks for listening, everybody.